here talking about Mia Culpa, on
Okay,
February
amen.
23rd, and that's what I'm most excited about right now. I think that that's that, and that's yeah, and I'm.
I could see myself in a pit trying to get out, just feeling so heavy that when I would make one step, the weight would just pull me back down.
Y'all, Michelle Williams just blew the lid off a Destiny's Child secret that's been bubbling for years. And the way that she's exposing Kelly Rowland's jealousy towards Beyonce has everybody gagged. See, everybody's been speculating about the tension in the group for ages, but Michelle just connected the dots in a way that's got folks side-eyeing Kelly and questioning if the jealousy runs deeper than we thought. But here's the twist. Michelle also hinted that Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father, allegedly had a hand in all this mess from the very beginning. So was Kelly always bitter, or did Matthew sabotage things behind the scenes and fuel the drama on purpose? Let's get into it, y'all. Now, the drama between Kelly and Beyonce isn't exactly new, because fans have clocked the weird energy for years, but it wasn't until Michelle's recent comments that people started putting the puzzle pieces together and realizing just how deep this jealousy allegedly goes. And from what Michelle's saying, it sounds like Kelly's always been fighting to step out of Beyonce's shadow and never fully could. But wait, y'all, because it gets messy. According to Michelle, the whole thing wasn't just about talent or fame. Word in the streets is that Matthew Knowles might have been playing puppet master the entire time. Fans have always whispered that Matthew was sabotaging Kelly's success behind the scenes, keeping the spotlight locked on Beyonce, of course. And now, well, Michelle just low-key confirmed these rumors might have been true. But y'all, the real question now is, why is Michelle finally airing this out? It's been nearly 20 years since Destiny's Child disbanded, and Michelle has never really spoken on this jealousy drama, until now that is. But buckle up, y'all, because the timing is very sus, because Kelly Rowland just announced that she's hopping on tour with Brandy and Monica, and two of the R&B icons that fans have been begging to see on the same stage for years. But here's the plot twist. Kelly's not headlining, she's opening for them. Yeah, y'all, let that sink in. Kelly, Destiny's Child royalty, reduced to opening for artists that she's arguably on the same level with, and fans are split on it. What's even messier though is that she's sharing the opener slot with Money Long and Jamal Roberts, two rising acts who aren't even in her league. So now people are side-eyeing the whole situation, and Michelle kind of poured gasoline on the fire with her confession about Kelly's jealousy. But here's where it gets even messier, y'all, because word in the streets is that Kelly's been quietly refusing to hit the stage with Beyonce. Beyonce is on tour right now, and according to Michelle, she personally asked Kelly to pop out for just a few shows, especially the big ones like in Paris. But guess what? Kelly allegedly shut it down. Michelle's claiming that the real reason Kelly turned her down is pure insecurity. She didn't want to deal with the constant dragging for not being on Beyonce's level. She didn't want to deal with the constant comparisons. You know how it goes, the internet dragging her for not being on Beyonce's level and talking about how Beyonce's a better performer and how Kelly can't sell out stadiums, all that messy noise. And listen, it's giving tension behind the scenes, and Michelle just blew the lid off. But let's be real a second for a millisecond. If you haven't been tapped into the drama, Kelly feeling a type of way about Beyonce isn't exactly shocking, because those rumors have been floating around for years, and Kelly herself low-key confirmed the tea a while back. She has admitted before that the constant comparisons to Beyonce messed with her head, especially after Destiny's Child split. She even got real about feeling jealous watching Beyonce's solo career skyrocket while she was still trying to find her lane. So these new reports from Michelle are kind of just adding fuel to the old fire. In her song Dirty Laundry, she said, "While my sister was on stage, killing it like a motherfucker, I was enraged, feeling it like a motherfucker, bird in a cage. You would never know what I was dealing with. Went our separate ways, but I was happy she was killing it. Bittersweet, she was up, I was down, no lie, I felt good for her, but what do I do now? Forget the records, off the record, I was going through some BS. Post-survivor, she on fire, who wanna hear my BS?" So yeah, Kelly admitted that she felt low-key jealous of Beyonce, and honestly, who wouldn't? Beyonce blew up fast. Her debut album, Dangerously in Love, dropped while Destiny's Child was still technically a thing, and it sold over 300,000 copies in its first week, reaching #1 on Billboard, winning Grammys, and the whole nine. Meanwhile, Kelly's debut, Simply Deep, dropped a year earlier. It did solid numbers, but 77,000 the first week, peaking at 12, Respectable for a solo rollout, but the second Beyonce's album hit, the comparisons went crazy, and you already know how that played out. And after Michelle exposed Kelly's jealousy, fans started to put two and two together, and suddenly Kelly's recent behavior started to look real shady. Y'all remember that drama on the Today Show, right? At first, the headlines made it sound like Kelly threw a diva tantrum and stormed off set because her dressing room was too small. Then Page Six ran wild with it, claiming that Kelly bailed at the last second because the space wasn't up to her standards. But here's where it gets messy, because insiders who were actually there said the dressing room excuse was just a cover-up. The real tea was that Kelly left because the interviewers wouldn't stop trying to drag Beyonce into her moment again. See, Kelly had one rule going into the interview: you have to keep it about her. She was there to promote her movie with Tyler Perry, not to play Beyonce's side character on TV Live. But instead of respecting that, they kept pressing her about Beyonce's up-and-coming projects, her music, her legacy, basically everything about Beyonce and nothing about Kelly.
What do you think about your friend Beyonce? She's like your sister. You guys literally grew up together. She's stepping into country.
I'm so proud of her.
I know, but were you surprised? And what do you think about it?
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for her.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And let's be real, this isn't the first time that's happened. Every time Kelly tries to shine, the media loves to circle it back to Beyonce. So when Michelle aired her out for still being salty about the comparisons, fans clocked the timeline real fast. And Kelly walking out of the Today Show was not about no dressing room. It was about years of being overshadowed and her finally snapping. And the way she dipped, quiet, no drama, just left them scrambling to find a last-minute replacement. And that's when folks really started to wonder if Kelly was still low-key holding resentment, or if the Today Show was really being disrespectful. But that wasn't the only time that Kelly snapped over Beyonce questions, cause let's not act brand new. She's been checked out of these interviews for a minute now. In fact, there was this other moment where she straight up called the interview out, told him to cut the BS, and made it crystal clear that she was not there to talk about Beyonce.
The sisters dropped a whole new couple of songs, and it's my understanding that Renaissance 2 may or may not be country based, and then there's a rumor going around that Renaissance 3 may be either rock based or a DC reunion.
That is her business to talk about. But just ask them. I'm here talking about Mia Copa on February 23rd, and that's what I'm most excited about right now. I think that that's that, and then and I'm.
And honestly, can you even blame her? Every time she sits down for an interview, they try to spin it to Beyonce as if it's her show, ignoring Kelly's entire career, her music, her projects, everything. It's like the only storyline they care about is Beyonce. But messy interviewers aside, this is where things really took a turn, because Michelle allegedly didn't stop there. It's been revealed that Kelly has been carrying some deep resentment for years, all because of how Matthew Knowles allegedly favored Beyonce over the rest of Destiny's Child. Now, y'all already heard the whispers about Matthew playing favorites. That's OT. But the way that Michelle laid it out, it's way deeper than anybody thought. And let's just say the timeline is finally starting to make some sense. So let's get into the real tea about Destiny's Child, because word in the streets is that Matthew Knowles allegedly sabotaged the group from the inside just to set Beyonce up to be the breakout star. Now, if you've been watching how things have played out over the years, you'll see that signs were always there. See, Destiny's Child was that group. Hit after hit, sold out tours, award shows, all the girlies' favorites. They were unstoppable. But behind the scenes, it was pure chaos. Lineup changes, lawsuits, backstabbing, and every time the dust settled, Beyonce stayed front and center. And fans have been side-eyeing Matthew for the reason for years, saying he low-key manipulated the whole situation to make sure his daughter came out on top, even if it meant sacrificing the group's unity. Now, y'all remember when Latavia and Latoya got kicked out, right? They didn't even know they were replaced until they saw the Say My Name video. It was like, say my name, say my, where's Latavia and Latoya? Imagine just being dropped like that, though. Finding out on TV that you've been swapped out. And who was calling those shots? Matthew. The same Matthew Knowles who was managing the group, but also Beyonce's daddy. So naturally, people started questioning if he was loyal to the group or just his daughter. And over time, Destiny's Child kept shrinking from 4 girls to 3, and the narrative shifted real fast. Suddenly, it wasn't about Destiny's Child as a whole, it was about Beyonce as the star, with the other girls fading into the background. And look, nobody's saying that Beyonce isn't talented, because listen, she eats down Renaissance. She is the moment, and she's definitely earned her spot, period. But the way that Matthew allegedly positioned her had fans wondering if the group ever even stood a chance at longevity, or if the plan was always for Beyonce to break away. Now, even Michelle hinted at the favoritism and how certain members were constantly pushed aside. And Kelly, well, we've already talked about the jealousy there, but now with all this coming to light, it's starting to look like less jealousy and more like frustration from years of being overshadowed, which is reasonable. At this point, fans are convinced Matthew played the puppet master with Destiny's Child, clearing the path for Beyonce's solo reign, even if it meant sabotaging the group that put them all on the map. And honestly, it kind of explains why Kelly wouldn't want to put herself through the drama of having fans compare her to Beyonce. So now, with Michelle finally spilling the tea about all these old rumors resurfacing, the question is, has Kelly really been holding on to all this jealousy all along, or is it the internet just blowing things out of proportion like always? And let's not forget Matthew Knowles. If what Michelle's saying is true, did he really sabotage the group or just push Beyonce to the top? One thing's for sure, two things for certain, the story's far from over. Y'all drop your thoughts and comments below, and don't you even think about leaving, because the next video, the receipts over there are even messier than this. See you over there.